Good morning to all our friends in the US, and we look to welcoming you to visit the island of Guadalcanal in the Solomon Islands. And we're standing today in front of the monument that is dedicated to the Solomon Scouts who worked with your Marines in 1942 for the victory of the island of Guadalcanal. We are sorry that COVID has delayed you, but this is a little bit of a taste of what's coming. Now, I'm happy to introduce to you who will be your guide when you do arrive to the Solomons. His name is Michael Ben, very experienced. He's a member of the Solomon Scouts Board, and I speak as chairman of the Solomon Scouts and Coastwatchers Trust Board, who developed this monument behind us it was dedicated in 2011. So Michael.
Here this morning, I warmly welcome you all to this Pride of Our Nation monument. And this monument was erected in memory of those Solomon Islanders who had served with U.S. Marines during the Second World War, and also in memory for the islanders to see and to think about the importance of the role, the courage, the loyalty, and the sacrifice of the islanders who had served during the Second World War. Welcome to the Unity Square here at Point Cruz, in the heart of the nation's capital, Honiara. We have this biggest flag in the country standing at the back, surrounded by 9 small flagpoles, which represents the 9 provinces that form part of the nation. Welcome this morning to the Guadalcanal American War Memorial up here at the Skyline on Hill 73, as numbered by the American Army after the war. And the purpose of erecting this war memorial is in the honor of those U.S. servicemen who had fought during the Guadalcanal campaign and lost their lives for the liberation of the Solomons. This site was also selected for this memorial because of the spectacular sights you can see from here out to Tulagi, where it's another landing site of the American Marines on the 7th of August 1942, and also on Guadalcanal at Red Beach, also on the same date, 7th of August 1942. In addition to this, you can see within this memorial there are 5 pillars that records the history of each battle that took place around these areas, and also records 7 sea battles that also took place during the Guadalcanal campaign. Bloody Ridge is a mile south of Hendersonville, and why it is so important in the history of the Battle of Guadalcanal is that it was the battle up here that fully determined the turning point of the Pacific War, because the Japanese forces were in retaliation to take back their airfield which they had constructed. The American Marines took over the airfield just a day after they landed at Red Beach, and also after they landed at Tulagi. On the 12th to the 13th and 14th of September was the dates of the battle that ranged these ridges. But it was on the 13th, on the night on the 13th, that the Japanese actually attacked right on top of this ridge where we are standing. Right here is where the first defense line of the Marine Raiders. And the Japanese fought so strongly during the night, and they broke through the first defense line, and the Marines had to retreat back on that ridge, which is hill number 2, and they have to rebuild their defense line, the second defense line on that ridge. They broke through the second American lines, and the Marines have to retreat further down to hill number 3, which is right beyond this valley, and they built their third defense line on hill number 3. And it was on hill number 3 that the Americans have held back the Japanese, who tried their very best to capture the airfield on that early morning of the day on the 14th. The determining battle took place, and the Americans managed to push back the Japanese from going through hill number 3 to capture Henderson Airfield. On this ridge, we have 2 memorials, The first one we are just standing very close to is the Japanese memorial. It was erected here because of the broke through the Japanese forces made during that first battle on the 13th of September. And the memorial at hill number 3 was dedicated in the memory of the first Marine Raiders. On the 7th of August 2017, a ceremony was held up on this ridge, and during the ceremony it was declared by the government and the people of Solomon Islands to the Marine Raiders to develop this ridge into a World Heritage Park. These 10-inch figurines are made by the World War II Museum in New Orleans, together with the Solomon Scouts and Coastwatchers Trust board in Solomon Islands, for the purpose of being souvenir for those veterans overseas and families who will be visiting Guadalcanal in Solomon Islands. We are now standing in the War Memorial Garden up here at Henderson Field. This garden was initiated by the U.S. Consular, Kitty Saunders, who was also the GLAD for the soil enviro purification. At the bottom of each tree, we do have plaques in commemoration of those sailors, Marines, airmen, soldiers who fought and died on Guadalcanal. The garden is still open for those families and relatives who may wish to sponsor each tree in commemoration for their dear ones who fought and also died on Guadalcanal.